What is a Christmas tree without unique, one-of-a-kind ornaments? Imagine adorning your Christmas tree with creative, sophisticated ornaments you can make easy, affordably, and in no time at all. My daughter Violet wants to decorate her bedroom for Christmas this year in a Candyland theme. I've already got some gingerbread houses, some nutcrackers, and some other festive decor pieces to go in there. So our first ornament that we are going to be making today is a whimsical giant cake pop ornament. We're going to start off by using these Dollar Tree ornaments. These are the large ones. I love using these, and I've got a couple of them, so we're going to be using these quite frequently today. So this is what we're going to start off with, and we can't have it clear, we've got to paint it. So I'm going to paint it in some pink spray paint, but first up we've got to remove the topper, and then I took it outside and I sprayed it in some ballet pink spray paint. I sprayed the outside of the ornament and made sure it was completely covered in this pretty pink spray paint, and then I let it dry for 1 hour. Now we need some drips of icing to go on the top of our cake pop. So what I did was I got some white craft paint and a paintbrush. I painted on some scalloped lines all the way around the top of the ornament, and then I filled it in with the white craft paint, and I painted from the scalloped line all the way to the top of the ornament. Once the faux icing had been painted onto the top of the ornament, I let it dry for 2 hours. Now every cake pop needs some sprinkles, and I found these clay sprinkles at Michael's. These are multicolored clay heart sprinkles. And the way that we are going to adhere these sprinkles to the ornament is with some Mod Podge. So I got a paintbrush back out and I painted on the Mod Podge all over the white icing at the top. I made sure that that section was covered in the Mod Podge, and then I took my clay sprinkles and I scattered these all over the Mod Podge. You can move the sprinkles around just a little bit right now before they're set. I also made sure that I didn't have one clump of one color in one spot. I placed the sprinkles all around the icing section. Once I had enough sprinkles placed on top of my ornament, I let the Mod Podge dry for 1 hour. Our cake pop needs a stick, and I didn't want to use a regular straw because I thought that would be a little flimsy. So I have these plastic straws. They're really sturdy, and they have a reddish and white, almost candy cane design. These are going to be perfect for the cake pop stick. Now we need a hole in the bottom of our ornament. And so I got out my wood burning tool, and I burned a hole that was the perfect size in the bottom of the ornament. Then I took my plastic straw and poked it into the hole. And since I poked the straw into the hole while the plastic was still warm, the plastic cooled down and shrunk around the opening and held that straw in place. And if you wanted to, you could add an extra little bit of hot glue to the bottom just to make sure that that stick doesn't come out. Now we've got to wrap our cake pop in some plastic. And I found this Christmas party shrink wrap at Hobby Lobby. It was only $4.99 for this whole thing, plus it was 50% off, so it was $2.50 for this entire roll. So what I'm going to do is cut a square, then I wrapped it around the top of the ornament. I got a rubber band to hold the shrink wrap in place while we shrink it. And now it is time to break out your hair dryer. Get your old one that heats up really high. We are not trying to be heat safe right now. So put that hair dryer on high heat and then blow the hot air onto the shrink wrap. As I did this, it began to cling to the cake pop ornament. This went by in a jiffy. It shrinks and hardens in a matter of seconds. Then I trimmed off all the excess shrink wrap. We don't want too much of the shrink wrap at the bottom, just a little skirt will do. Then I removed the rubber band, and we are going to swap the rubber band for a pretty pink ribbon that we can tie around the bottom of the shrink wrap. So I just took a segment of this ribbon, I wrapped the ribbon around the bottom of the shrink wrap, and then tied it into a bow. Now we need to replace the topper, but the shrink wrap has covered up that hole, so we need to open it back up. So I just got a knife and I poked a hole in the shrink wrap. And then I took my metal ornament topper and placed that back where it belongs. And now we have a way to hang up our cake pop ornament. And look at how cute our giant cake pop ornament turned out. This is going to look so adorable on Violet's candy themed Christmas tree. This was a very easy way to make a customizable treat themed ornament. And again, if you wanted to, you could change the color into whatever color you wanted. You could change up the sprinkles. You could really make this your own. If you have a sweet themed Christmas theme, this cake pop is a perfect ornament for you. Have you ever thought about turning a snow globe into a Christmas ornament? Well, that is what we are going to do next. I picked up a snow globe from the Dollar Tree. It's the perfect size. It's not too big. It's not too small. And then I also am going to be getting some of these mini bottle brush Christmas trees. They come in a package of 3, so I picked up one of these. This Christmas tree is pretty plain, and so we need to add some ornaments to it. And we are going to create our ornaments out of some little pearls. I purchased this bag of pearls at Hobby Lobby in the wedding section. So all I'm going to do is add a dab of hot glue to our tree, and then I'm going to press a pearl into the hot glue. I added several of these pearl ornaments to my tree. I'm going to spread them out evenly. These little pearls add a beautiful detail to our plain tree. Next, I'm going to remove the bottom of our snow globe, and then I'm going to add some hot glue to the bottom of our mini bottle brush Christmas tree and place that in the center. I'm going to press it firmly so it stays in place. I love using this frosty snow. I use it all the time when I decorate for Christmas. I buy it at Walmart and it's only $3.98 for this entire bag. And I reuse it every single year, so I haven't had to buy another bag in a couple of years. So we are going to add some snow to our snow globe. So I just took a handful of this frosty snow and placed it in the snow globe. And then I replaced the bottom of the snow globe. It's going to twist right back on, and then I flipped it right side up. So now we have a flurry of snow surrounding our Christmas tree inside of our snow globe. Now, I don't particularly love that the bottom of the snow globe is exposed and it's just white plastic. So we're gonna cover that up, and I'm going to be using some cream and gold grosgrain ribbon that I purchased at the Dollar Tree. I added some hot glue to the bottom section of the snow globe, pressed the ribbon into the hot glue, continued to add hot glue to the bottom section, and pressed the ribbon into the hot glue. I went all the way around the perimeter of the bottom section of the snow globe. When I got back to the starting point, I hot glued it into place. This is a huge improvement over the white plastic. It makes our snow globe look much more elegant. Now comes the tricky part. How are we going to hang our snow globe on the tree? Well, I thought about it for a little bit and I wanted it to be really secure. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna get some ribbon. So I picked up some thin ribbon that I purchased at Michael's. It's white and gold. And then I also needed a tack. This is just a thumbtack. I purchased it at the Dollar Tree and I love that it's gold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a segment of this ribbon. I looped it and tied it into a knot at the bottom. Then I took my thumbtack, wrapped it around the ribbon, and then pressed it into the top of the snow globe. Then I got a hammer and I gently hammered the tack in place. This technique worked beautifully, and now I have a very secure way to hang my snow globe ornament. And we are finished with our adorable snow globe ornament. How fun is this, you guys? What I love about the snow globe is that you can get so creative with the items that you have inside. So yes, I have snow in mine and I have my Christmas tree with my pearl ornaments, but you could add some mini Christmas presents. You could put in little figurines and then just add the frosty snow and you have a DIY snow globe. So yes, you can turn a snow globe into a festive Christmas ornament. If you like one-of-a-kind Christmas decorations, complete seasonal room transformations, Christmas dupes and thrift flips, and you will come to the right place. I post new weekly videos, except for right now. I'm posting videos twice a week, one on Monday, one on Thursday, because we have so much Christmas decorating to do. So make sure you're subscribed so you won't miss out on any of those videos. And I know you will not want to miss out on Thursday because we are decorating the Christmas tree, and we're doing the Christmas tree and the fireplace mantle. I am so excited, you guys. It is going to be stunning, and that's why we're doing ornaments today, because we've got to have ornaments to put on our Christmas tree. So again, just make sure you're subscribed so you won't miss out on any of those videos. I know you will get some inspiration. The next ornament we are going to make is literally going to be about 50 cents to create, but it's going to look so fantastic. So the first thing we need is some floral wire. I need a 2-foot section of this thin silver floral wire. We are going to be bending this floral wire into the word joy. And luckily it's thin enough that it's easily bendable. And I'm going to be doing it in a cursive font. I took this wire and shaped it as best as I could into that word, and I didn't even need to cut it. I just kept the wire in one segment and I curved it into the word joy, and I think it turned out pretty good. It is pretty difficult to see this word right now because that wire is so thin, so we need to cover it in something. And I used this pearl trim that I purchased at Hobby Lobby last week. Do you guys remember that thrift flip where I took that wood Christmas tree and I added this beaded pearl trim to the edges of the Christmas tree? Well, I have some leftover. So what I'm going to do is get my Aaliyah silicone mat out first. Then I placed my wire wording on the mat. I added hot glue to the wire and then pressed the beaded pearl into the hot glue. This was such an easy process. All I had to do was add the hot glue right over the top of the wire and then press the beaded trim into the hot glue. There were some sections where I did have to cut the beaded trim so it didn't overlap. But once again, this did go by so quickly, and in no time I had the beaded pearl trim hot glued to the floral wire. And just like that, we are done creating this customizable ornament. You saw how easy that was and how cheap. We hardly needed anything to create these ornaments. And all you need to do is just get a little ornament hook and place it right on the O, and it will hang beautifully on your tree. You can get so creative with ornaments like these. I have joy, but you could write Noel. You could create any design or Christmas shape that you want. I did something very similar to this ornament last year where I made this cute little pearl bow. The only difference is the way I made this was I got that floral wire and then I got some pearl beads and I threaded the beads onto the wire and then I shaped it into this bow shape and then I hung it on my tree. So this was a little more time consuming, but I like how it has the bigger pearl beads on it. If you're in a hurry and you don't really mind that it's smaller, then you can definitely go with this technique. But either one of them work beautifully. And this is just another way that you can get a very affordable, one-of-a-kind ornament that is easy to make. We are going to move on and create a very elegant ornament next. We are going to once again be using one of these large Dollar Tree ornaments. And we're also going to be using some fabric that is left over from a fall decor piece. Do you guys remember where I transformed this turkey into a pillow? Well, I loved that cream fabric. Well, I had some of that fabric left over and I thought it would be beautiful to use in an ornament. So what I'm going to do is cut some of this fabric into a square. I'm going to remove the topper from my ornament and then I'm going to pull up the fabric to the top of the ornament. I try to do this with the least amount of creasing. I don't mind that there's a little bit of creasing. I think it adds to the overall look of the ornament, but we want it to be as smooth as possible. Then I took a thin white and gold ribbon, wrapped it around the top of the ornament and tied it into a knot. Then I trimmed off the majority of the excess fabric from the top. However, I am leaving about 1 inch of fabric. Now we are going to replace the topper. So I flared out the fabric so the hole was visible, and then I replaced the metal topper. I added a bit of hot glue around the top so that the fabric would cover up the topper. We don't necessarily want to see the topper, we want it to be hidden, and so hot gluing the fabric in place will do that. Now this is very pretty as is, but we want a little more embellishment, and I had some leftover lace from those fall projects. And I love this lace, you guys. It's got pearls on it, it's got sequins on it, it's just stunning. I don't want to use it in a long segment. I want to cut them into individual pieces because we're gonna put this lace around the ornament, and if you do that, it's gonna pucker because it's a round shape. So that's why we're cutting them into individual segments. I added some hot glue to the top of the ornament and then pressed the lace pieces into the hot glue. I repeated this process all the way around the ornament, adding these pretty lace pieces as I went. I love the pearls and sequins on this lace. It adds an elegant detail to our ornament. I want to hide the area where the fabric and the lace intersect. We don't want to see that. It's a little messy right now, and so we're going to cover it up. We're going to be using this gold and cream jacquard ribbon. It is so pretty. It's really thick and very high quality. And you guys, I got this from the Amazon haul website. 10 yards of this was only $6.53. It's such a great deal. So we're going to use this, and I'm going to wrap it around the top of the ornament, and then I'm going to tie it in a bow. Not only does this ribbon bring in another color, which is that gold, but it definitely covers up all the mechanics of how everything is attached. Another pretty embellishment we're going to add to our bow is one of these pearls. We have a lot of pearls, so we're going to continue on that theme. Now these pearls were actually left over from a project I did a couple weeks ago. I did a Mackenzie Child's Christmas tree dupe, and I used these pearls that I purchased at Hobby Lobby as ornaments. So we're going to take one of these pretty little pearls and we're going to add it to the center of the bow. So I added some hot glue to the middle, then I took my pearl and I pressed it into the hot glue. And that's it. We're done with our beautiful fabric, lace, ribbon, pearl ornament. I think it is so pretty. And we were able to create this gorgeous one-of-a-kind ornament from pieces that I had that were just left over. The fabric was left over, the lace was left over, the pearl was left over, and I got the ribbon very affordably. So this was a very inexpensive ornament that does not look inexpensive. You could add ornaments like these to create a very timeless Christmas tree. You could again customize it into whatever you wanted. You could swap out the fabric, you could swap out the ribbons, you could change up the lace. There's so many things you could do to personalize these ornaments to fit in with your Christmas color scheme. If you want to stay on a budget, just get creative, look around your house and see what you have. You never know what may work to create something beautiful. Not only does the Dollar Tree have the round ornaments and the snow globes, but they also have ornaments that are shaped like a light bulb. Now, we are not going to leave ours as a light bulb. We are going to transform it into something much prettier. So the first thing I need to do is remove the top of the ornament, and then I'm going to pour in some Mod Podge. I shook the ornament around. I just shook it. I wanted to make sure the entire inside of the ornament was covered in the Mod Podge. Then I turned it upside down and let the excess Mod Podge drip out into a cup. I'm going to be adding some champagne glitter inside of our ornament. I purchased this at Michael's and it's the perfect tone of gold because it's not so gold, it's got that champagne color to it. So I poured in a whole bunch of this glitter to the inside of the ornament, and then I once again shook it. I wanted to make sure that all of the glitter was spread around and stuck onto the Mod Podge. I made sure that every part of the inside of the ornament was covered in the glitter, and then I turned it upside down and let it dry overnight. Like I said, I love the color tone of this glitter, but I also love that it adds some dimension. It also has texture to the inside, so it's kind of like a 3D, even though it's on the inside. And this was a really easy technique to do. You could leave your ornament just like that and it would be fantastic, but we are once again going to add some more embellishments to it. What I did was I thought, how fun would it be to add a Christmas tree to the outside of this ornament? So I headed over to my Cricut design space and I found a Christmas tree, and then I had my Cricut maker cut it out on some gold removable vinyl. I weeded away the excess vinyl from around the Christmas tree, then I got some transfer tape. I placed that over the top of the vinyl. I removed the backing, and then I placed my Christmas tree in the center of my ornament. I pressed the vinyl firmly to the ornament with my scraper tool. Then I removed the transfer tape and then gave it one more firm press with my scraper tool to make sure that the vinyl had adhered well to the ornament. I love this subtle detail. It's tone on tone, but because it's shiny, it definitely stands out. So now it's time to replace that topper. So I just popped it right back on, but we do not want our light bulb ornament to look like a light bulb, and that topper definitely makes it look like a light bulb. So we are going to once again use my Amazon haul jacquard ribbon to cover that up. So I added some hot glue to the topper. I pressed the ribbon into the hot glue, wrapped the ribbon around the topper, and then hot glued the end so it would stay in place. This ribbon makes such a huge difference. Look at how pretty this ornament is. We were able to easily transform a Dollar Tree light bulb ornament into something that is so classy. I love the glitter inside. It just gives our ornament such a fantastic glow. The Christmas tree is so fabulous as well. I love that it's tone on tone. That way you kind of have to look hard to find the hidden Christmas tree. And you could get a different colored vinyl and use that if you wanted it to stand out better. And if you don't have a vinyl cutter, do not worry. Just get some stickers, and stickers will do the exact same thing. I think that the ribbon at the top is definitely the showstopper. It ties everything together and really elevates this ornament. I liked this ornament so much, I thought I'm gonna do another one. And this time I had my Cricut maker cut out 2 vinyl snowflakes. I added these vinyl snowflakes to a round ornament. I pressed it firmly to the ornament with my scraper tool. This time, instead of glitter, I am going to be using that frosty snow to add to the center. So I just took some handfuls of this frosty snow and I tried my very best to get it inside of the ornament. I made a mess, but that's okay. Just scraped that up and just kept adding it to the ornament. I filled the ornament all the way to the top with the frosty snow. And then I replaced the topper. And how cute is this ornament? I love that we put the frosty snow inside because it is a great contrast to the gold snowflakes on the outside. So the snowflakes are very visible. So this is the contrast between the two. Pretty much the same technique, but I used different things on the inside, different shapes, and I got different results. You can create any design that you want on the outside. If you have stickers, that works just as well as a vinyl decal. You can fill it up with any kind of festive Christmas items to get a one-of-a-kind, very unique ornament. If you have completely run out of time, your creativity is shot, and you do not want to make your own DIY ornaments, let me show you what you can do to get a custom ornament very easily. Just get some ornaments that you can buy at the store. I picked up these pretty little bow ornaments at Hobby Lobby. They were $6.99 for the entire package of 6, but they were 50% off. So I paid $3.50 for 6 of these pretty little bow ornaments. They are fantastic as is, but we are going to embellish them just a little bit to make them one of a kind. So the only other thing I'm going to need besides these ornaments is a package of these lace and pearl flowers. Once again, these are from Hobby Lobby and they are from the wedding section. I'm telling you, the wedding section has some fantastic things. These have little stickers on the back, and I've used these a couple of times before. I just love them. So what I'm going to do is remove the backing from the sticker, and then I'm going to add some hot glue to it. just because I want to trust but verify that these little lace pieces will stay in place. So I added hot glue to the back, and then I pressed these lace pearl flowers to the center of the gold bow ornaments. I'm using 2 large flowers and 1 small one. Again, I'm just hot gluing them to the center of the ornaments. You don't have to do anything too difficult. You can do something as simple as hot glue embellishments to ornaments you already have to make them look much more high-end and customizable. Look at how pretty these are, you guys. That was so easy to do. First up, the bows in the first place were just so cute, but adding that little extra bit of embellishment to them really took them over the top. I love the contrast between the sparkles and the lace and the pearls. All together, it just looks so elegant. These ornaments would be pretty on any tree, and of course, they were simple and easy to make. Well, we did a whole lot of Christmas ornaments today. We did whimsical ones, we did classy ones. We did affordable ornaments and turned all kinds of items that shouldn't be ornaments into ornaments. All of these ornaments were one of a kind, and we were able to create them on a budget, which proves that you can live beautifully and you can do it on a budget, especially during this festive time of year. Don't forget that Thursday is the Christmas tree decorating video and fireplace mantle. It is seriously one of my favorite videos of the entire year. So make sure you subscribe so you won't miss out on that one. And then I also have so many fabulous complete holiday room transformations, more projects, more DIYs, and I know that you will definitely get some inspiration. Well, I hope you got some inspiration today. I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you so much for watching.